Oh, let me get my cup. Oh, hello.
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 Oh.
Cheers and stuff.
It is July.
It is July 25th,
And-
2025.
Yes, that's right. Yes. So in case it's 147 years in the future and you're watching this.
I don't know. I think YouTube's going to be around a while, so it's
is.
possible.
Yeah. It's 187 degrees here.
I thought it was only like 186 and a half.
So naturally, that's when you choose your Christmas gnome
Yes.
cup.
Yeah, you do it, exactly 5 months before Christmas.
You embrace snow,
It's
snowy
hot.
thoughts.
Yeah, that's right. You embrace the snowy. It keeps you cool.
Truth be told, we drink out of Christmas stuff a lot.
We do. In addition to, we have several of these gnome mugs. Plus, we also have what else?
Oh, the elf ones.
The elf
ones are really cool.
Based on the movie. Elf.
World's best cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And which we're not having right now.
No.
We're having tea.
Exactly.
And
Do we have others to say Merry Christmas on them? Or?
we have Meowie Christmas.
Oh, Meowie Christmas.
Meowie
That's right.
Christmas.
That's right.
Yes.
So we really like that holiday season.
Yeah.
And another thing, I don't think we said the name of the show, honey.
Oh, it's the Buddy and Lisa show.
And Lisa show.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Buddy and Lisa
Yeah.
show. This is our third episode so far.
Episode 3. Yeah.
Episode 3, yes. The first one was about British TV shows that we love, primarily Death in Paradise, but we talked about some others.
Yep.
Second show was on writing through the noise.
Yep. Kind of the struggles that writers endure and kind of like why and how you need to kind of just,
Keep on going, and
Yeah.
exactly. So as we said in at least one of those shows, we are going to be mixing things up on our show here, and we're doing that this time. We're moving away from both television and books and writing, and now we're moving on to motion pictures with 2 that we have recently seen in the theaters.
But
Before
we go through that, I don't know I wanted to share something that I thought would be really good information for everyone.
For me too?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
You're part of the everyone group.
Thank you.
Yuchu Tomlin, our lazy bum of a cat, is over there. I work in an office during the day. That's my bread and butter, so we say, whatever. But I learned something today.
Oh, yeah?
And that's no matter how hard you push the envelope, it's still stationary.
Bravo, great one.
Okay,
great
so
one.
we have a calendar. We have a calendar of, oh my God, what are these things called? Puns.
Yeah.
And every day it has a different pun on it. So I try to quickly look at it, memorize one, and just sort of like embellish it a little bit and bring it into some random conversation to make him believe it. And then
I could be in the bathroom shaving, and she'll walk in there and pop her head in the door and just start telling me a story that seems real. And you would think at this point I would have my guard a little bit more up when she talks, but I love her and I believe her. But she almost always gets me with these little puns. Some of them are quite punishing.
He might not have his guard up, but sometimes he has his ears closed.
Yeah. Selective hearing, right?
Anyway, so we're going to talk about 2 movies. We don't go to the movies a lot anymore because I don't think a lot of people do for a variety of reasons. One, everybody pretty much has amazing TVs inside their house now. Yeah. And that is very evident when you go in to look at the theater. I mean, obviously it's big and you've got the big Dolby surround sound. But I mean, when you really look at it, you think, well, my TV is actually clearer than what this is, and the tickets are heinously expensive.
Exactly.
We try to go on the cheapy days.
Yeah, I think it's like Tuesdays if you go to this one particular theater, which is the one we go to the most because it's very close to our home. It's like you said, you get quite a discount.
Yeah.
So
we should talk about these 2 movies in the order that we saw them in. So we are going to talk about today Jurassic World Rebirth and Superman.
Yes.
And we saw we were planning on going to see Superman, but then I really I'll be honest, I loved the first Jurassic movies.
Yeah.
But they kind of just kept coming and kept going. And we hadn't seen the last one, Jurassic Dominion.
No. But we've seen the two other ones with Chris Pratt and I want to say Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah. Yes.
And I wasn't sure, I don't know. Do I need it? And certainly, do I need to go see it in the theater?
Yeah, we saw those on cable probably.
Yeah, but then I saw the trailer, and I was really like, one view of the trailer, and I was like, ooh, this actually looks really, really good.
Yeah.
And I thought, out of all the Jurassic Parks I've seen, I've never seen any of them in the theater. Yeah. And I thought, boy, if there's any movie to go see in the theater, it's a superhero movie. It's a movie about dinosaurs. It's not about, like, you know, I don't know, a retirement home choir winning a competition at Hershey Park or something.
Which is okay to watch on TV.
Yeah.
I saw the first 3 movies in the theaters. And I'll never forget.
Lucky boy.
I'll never forget, you know, seeing that first one. Because I was like, I guess probably the majority of that audience who saw it in the theaters then is we were just mesmerized because there had never been anything before then that depicted dinosaurs that way on the big screen, you know, where they looked, you know, they were using their CGI or whatever it was, and they just looked real.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Barney, where there was like a guy in a suit going, you know, I mean,
exactly,
that would be funny. That would be a really great improv, like at a local theater or something like that. But.
Yeah, so those were fun to see, and then there was a large gap of years before they came back and started making them again. And yeah, I enjoyed the other ones, but you know, we for whatever reason didn't see Dominion.
Yes.
But we were very excited to see this one. It's got a great cast.
Yeah,
too.
and so this one takes place, I believe it's 12 years after Dominion.
Okay.
And what I like about this one is, you know, a lot of the other ones that we saw, it was kind of, I particularly did, I don't know which one it was where like the dinosaurs had made it to the mainland, the U.S., and they were like roaming through people's backyards and stuff like that.
Maybe 2 or 3.
I mean, well, yes, that's scary, and I really don't want that, especially since we live on the 2nd floor, so we're kind of like right in line of their mouth.
Yeah, the mouth,
Yeah, so they'd like look in and be like, ooh, she eats a lot of cupcakes and donuts, so I would be a nice snack.
So if any of you see a dinosaur in our window there,
please call.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know how to call us, and it's probably going to be in the future, so we might already be dead, but, you know.
Yeah, quite the podcast episode.
Boy, yeah, we'd probably get a lot of views, which would really suck, because then we wouldn't be allowed to, you know, kind of seize our moment.
Our cat will inherit the franchse.
Run the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a movie that's really frightening. It's having him be king. But anyways, this one is kind of neat because it's obviously whenever you're dealing with a animal like that, like, you know, the dinosaurs or like a Jaws, you're expecting, okay, at some point this beast is going to attack people and chaos is going to ensue, you know? But I really did feel like it was a little bit of a fresh take on it.
Yeah,
and
it was.
I actually, I have to say, without even having talked about it yet, that I walked away from it going, wow, I think this might actually be my new favorite out of all of them. Because in some ways, and this might be, I don't know, you can agree or disagree with me on this, but in some ways I felt like one of the things that made it better than some of the other ones, there was actually less of the dinosaurs eating people. There was less of that. Like, I feel like the other ones, every time you turned around, they were running after you and, you know, the little things. And, you know, you remember the little guy he does the, don't forget your password.
Oh, yeah.
Ha, 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 he, or whatever it is. And he goes out in his little mobile, and it's the little dinosaur with it looks like he's got a neck ruffle, and it spits at people, you know, like horrible. So I felt like those were like really hyped up on like the horror kind of element of like attack. This one I felt like there was a little bit less of that. Yeah. And for a brief second, I was wondering if I was disappointed in that, but then I just loved the storyline, and I felt like the characters were so much richer. Yeah. In this one, I really liked the storyline of it. So I really have to say, and I can't say I love it more than the original because the original is just different.
Yeah.
But I would say out of all of the ones since the original, I would say that this one is my favorite.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And honestly, it's been so long, even since I've seen the original. It's hard for me to remember. We should totally watch it. Yeah, and
remember when the guy? This isn't. Well, maybe it's a spoiler, but my God, if you haven't watched the original one by now, there's a scene where a guy's in a little porta potty,
right?
And he gets the T-Rex.
Is it the guy from Seinfeld?
Yes.
Newman.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight is the actor. Yeah.
Yeah, which a lot of people, on that show would be happy if Newman got eaten by a dinosaur.
Exactly. But yeah, that was really good. And of course, Jeff Goldblum was one of the actors in the original. Laura Dern, Sam Neill. From what I understand, Sam Neill and Laura Dern returned for Dominion, which kind of makes me want to see it. We should. But let's get back to Rebirth.
Yeah, let's actually talk about what it's about.
We talked. You've described to me before the show started here. We were, for our own sakes, we were doing sort of a recap of the movie.
Oh boy, I got to tell you, every hour I get older. You really got. I told Buddy, I was like, we saw these movies 2 weeks ago. I was like, we have literally got to record this right now, and we're gonna have to preemptively talk about them for a couple minutes to remind ourselves what they're about.
But you did a good recap to me, so why don't you tell them what the story is?
I'm getting to it.
I know.
He's basically hinting at me that you're doing it again. You're talking a lot. I do it. I'm a jabberjaws. That was my nickname.
You can leave it in the comments. No, he said none of that.
Oh. So Scarlett Johansson. Quick pivot. I pivot a lot. She was fantastic in this.
She was.
I think this was her best movie.
She was really good.
She is kick-ass. And didn't she just have a baby?
I don't know.
I don't know. If she didn't, well then whatever. You're still kick-ass. But I feel like what's her face and her husband. Her husband. What's
Colin Jost.
Yes.
From Saturday Night Live.
I feel like they had a child, but maybe I made that all up in my head. Anyway, so she is apparently this amazing retriever. She's worked for Black Ops and Special Ops type of things. And so this rich man guy, what's his name? Martin Krebs, played by
character.
Rupert Friend.
Rupert Friend.
Rupert Friend.
He's not the friendliest character in this movie.
No. So he kind of assembles this team, but he goes after her. Actually, he doesn't assemble the team. I take that back. She assembles the team. He gets her because she is an expert. She is known for going into heinous situations and retrieving,
getting whatever job done.
Yeah, whatever they are looking for, she can do it. And she's kind of a badass. Well, so he tells her about it, and she's obviously reluctant. He tells her that he works for, this is for a pharmaceutical company. And so they need to go and extract, there's something in the DNA of dinosaurs that they want to use to help basically maybe not end a whole bunch of the critical things that affect people, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, all these things. But it slows them dramatically. It basically would be almost like a life extending serum or something.
Yeah.
And so they have to extract it from 3 different types of dinosaurs: a land one, an air, land, air, and sea.
Right.
And so they obviously need to get it, and here's the caveat: the animals can't be dead.
Yeah, it has to be from a living dinosaur.
It has to be from a living dinosaur. So
at the time of the extraction.
No problem whatsoever. I'm just gonna go in with a little syringe, and I'll have a cute Band-Aid, and I'll just take the blood of this. So she obviously is kind of okay, well, you're nuts.
Yeah. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, sure.
No, I was just going to say that things have changed since the last movies in that dinosaurs have actually died out some. And now they're pretty much centrally located in just this one area. And I just wanted to throw that in there. And that's close
actually,
to the equator, right?
Yes, and that's actually a good point because this area is a no-go zone. You're not supposed to, I think it violates
all countries
bunch
came
of
to agreement that you can't go there.
You're kind of violating a lot of laws and rules by going into this thing. Because you don't want to go there because you pretty much die. So anyways, so she's obviously very reluctant. She says, I can't do this on my own. You're going to have to let me put together a team. And so that's where the rest of her castmates come in
exactly.
To play. So she gets Dr. Henry Loomis, who's played by Jonathan Bailey, and he
is sort of like he's sort of like Ross in the TV show Friends, in that he's been a dinosaur lover his whole life. He is working, I believe, at some sort of museum, something that's centered on dinosaurs.
And it's like dying out.
Yeah, he says at one point how their ticket sales for this place had just dropped to almost nothing because the public interest in dinosaurs has waned over the years, because I guess it's become more of a commonplace thing. Because it's at this point, like in real life, it's been over 30 years. Well, for us, since the movie, but in the movies, it's 30 years since they brought back dinosaurs initially. So it's fairly common, and people are less interested. Yeah. But yeah, he's this big dinosaur expert, one of the biggest experts on the planet. And so she figures, yes, it's good to have fellow mercenary types with her, but she needs someone like him.
And then we have, now we learned this name. Do we remember how to pronounce it?
Mahershala Ali is the actor, who's a very acclaimed actor. I know he was I think he might have been an Academy Award winner for something we had saved to our watch list.
Don't ask me.
Anyway, where he played some jazz musician.
He was very good, and I give him all the claps.
Yes, he was great in this trailer we watched. We haven't seen the movie, but he plays Duncan Kincaid, and he's got a boat. He's the captain of the boat that's going to take the team to this forbidden place to go do what they need to do with the dinosaurs. And well, there's others too.
And there's some others. Yeah. Those are the big core ones.
Those are the big core ones.
The core ones. So so they set out to go on this mission.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is there's kind of like two little, and I feel like, now correct me if I'm wrong because I can't remember, which is, it really happens a lot.
Anyway, go ahead.
Is I don't feel like a lot of the other Jurassic Park stories had multiple storylines going on. I don't remember that. I remember it just kind of being about the dinosaurs and getting them under control and maybe like very minor things. But anyways, there is a boat full of a father and
she's got like either she's teenage or like young adult daughter, and then her boyfriend, who there's some little conflict between him and the father, and I think a younger sister, who I would guess is around 8, 9, 10,
I'm
something
horrible.
like that.
I don't know.
She's a little one.
She's younger than me.
Yeah. But they are going, I guess, sort of on this adventure to sail across the ocean.
And they've done it before.
Yeah.
They've done this before.
Without the boyfriend.
And they were excited to set out there, and we try not to do too many big spoilers, and not.
We can say this one though, I think.
Well, I don't think we have to go into. It should be somewhat surprising, but something happens that causes them to capsize, and that's
Godzilla shows up.
That's why their lives kind of intertwine the scientists and all that.
Because where that happens to them is pretty much in the same direction where the team is.
Yes.
So
they're all heading in kind of the same direction.
So they are all brought together. That's all we'll say.
Yes,
they're brought
together. And it's a really interesting, I liked that dynamic.
Yeah, me too.
I really did, and I thought it was a great way of kind of really, we talked about it before, what the kind of, this story has two kind of big, things that it's examining, two big themes of like good versus evil, and then man versus world. And having kind of these two people in different situations and their different storylines converging kind of really helped make that good versus bad part. I think
agree.
Because it brought it there was something that happened pivotal with one of those characters that really made the team question one of their own. And started to kind of reshape what they were, what they saw about their mission.
Yes, and I completely agree with you. I like the merging of, the team that's going after these dinosaurs, because I think we alluded to it, is the pharmaceutical guy offered them pretty much whatever they wanted. They were offered, like I think Scarlett Johansson said, with this I'm going to make enough money so I'm never going to have to do any other jobs. I'm done. I'm retired for the rest of my life. So they were all getting either paid a fortune or like the scientist guy Henry that we mentioned, that for him, because being the dinosaur lover, this is the greatest like scientific thing for him. They've got their mission that they're excited about, but then you have this whole group of innocents, this family. They're not there for money, they're not there for any kind of power
and also,
or anything.
Could you just imagine if you're on a boat and you're having a bad day to begin with because something happens that causes you to capsize in the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
And so, but then you see someone coming to rescue you. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be okay. But then you find out that they're going to this heinous island where the remaining dinosaurs are to collect samples. And it's like, no, I don't want to go there.
Exactly. And, well, I can't say too much, but among the team, there had been some consideration as to whether to bring those people away and go back to, some sort of safe other island for them to leave them, but they're on a sort of a time schedule.
Yes.
So they go with them.
Yes.
And things get a little hairy.
Now, what's particularly interesting about these dinosaurs is they're not exactly the dinosaurs that we have seen, and at least. I shouldn't completely 100% say that with confidence because we haven't seen Dominion.
Yeah.
But as far as everything outside of Dominion, these were different in that experimentation had been happening because there was a scientific laboratory on this island where the original Jurassic Park was. And some things went wrong. Yeah. And I mean, they even say it in the trailer, the clip, that the worst of these mutated dinosaurs were left behind. So that gives you an idea. Yeah. And I can tell you one of them, I don't even begin to ask me what the name of that dinosaur is, but it was frightening. Kind of stuff, and it looked like it had this like bulbous head. You can see it in one of the big trailers.
Yeah. And I think there may have been like some dinosaurs that were familiar to the people there, but like you said, there was all these mutations, which I don't think they were fully aware of going into this. I think maybe one or two people might have known.
Yeah, because they said they left the worst of the worst behind.
Yeah. Like I think the pharmaceutical rep knew that, but I don't know how privy to the info the others were.
Oops, forgot to bring that up.
Yeah, and like we said, that guy is a very questionable person. But, it's just really exciting.
Right up until the last moment. I mean, up until the last moment of the movie, you were sitting there rooting for something, you know, and in some ways I kind of wish, in some ways it kind of had a literary fiction ending in that, you just,
that's true.
A lot of people who read literary fiction, one of the complaints is, because those are obviously not filled with dinosaurs eating you.
Dickens, remember the Dickens novel about dinosaurs?
But they kind of, they can be, they're literally considered slices of life. And so the ending sometimes is very just kind of like, and they walked off into, the next day. And it has no big significance or whatever. Right. It's literally just a accurate portrayal of this one slice of life. And so the endings sometimes don't have the resolution or big message pivoting, kind of thing that other novels have. And I felt like this one was kind of oddly like that in that it kind of just ended. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I was at all unhappy with the ending, but I guess I'm so used to, I was expecting to see them on the mainland post making this journey. Yeah. And so it was kind of weird to see them simply just the ones who are on the boat coming home to be, there it is and it's done. But I really loved it. I just enjoyed it so much.
And like you, I love how it ended too, because it's not a typical ending. But I mean, don't get the idea that things aren't resolved enough. They all are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but if it had gone on like another 15-20 minutes with furthering the story, that would have been okay too. Yeah. But I'm not unhappy in any way at all with it. And definitely my favorite of the Jurassic Park. Well, this is Jurassic World, but of the whole Jurassic World / Jurassic Park movies, I think there's been 6 or 7 of them. Definitely my favorite since the first one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Scarlett Johansson. I saw a story recently that with this movie, I think she's been in some of the superhero movies and all these other big hit movies. She is like pretty much the most successful actor or actress in terms of the ones who have been in like the big money making movies. in the world right now.
Yeah,
you know,
that's amazing.
which is pretty amazing.
Which is pretty cool as a female, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they are not usually the ones. I mean, and she plays a really badass person. Like, I think
really
she's
badass.
really
This is
cool
really
in here. I really liked her. I
She's
haven't. I obviously she's done nothing to me in my life, but she was never like a favorite actress of mine, and I don't even know why. She was just never one that really like spoke to me in some of the other movies that I had seen her in. And I think you know, sometimes you have to be careful to not blame not liking or not connecting with something on the actor or actress, but maybe the writers and obviously your own personal you know, opinions of things. But I really, she blew me away in this movie.
Yeah.
Which it's always nice to see that when you get to see a different version of a character, because sometimes, I hate to say it, unfortunately, there are actors and actresses, no matter how their character name changes, I feel like I'm watching the same thing. And sometimes, unfortunately, one of the ones this has nothing to do with these movies, so I'm going to pivot because this is what we do.
That's what we do.
Is George Costanza.
Oh,
the guy who plays
Jason,
Alexander.
Jason Alexander, thank you.
Is I feel like, unfortunately for him, he is often cast as a George Costanza person, and he's not. And so, unfortunately, though, when I've then seen him in a situation where he's not playing that character, all I can think of is that character. So it's just, I think it's really hard for some.
I think so too.
To break away from it either by themselves or just the production and writing team. But. And
here's a neat thing too. I saw years ago, and I'm going to put it out there, sort of a trivia thing or just kind of a fun thing to do. Scarlett Johansson, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I have seen pictures of her online next to pictures of a very young Christopher Walken, and they look very, very similar. Where people are like, "Oh my God, Charlotte, like, especially when she has blonde hair. When her hair gets a little darker now." But if you look at Scarlett Johansson compared to Christopher Walken, and look for him like in the 1970s. Just do a search on Christopher. Use both their names. You'll see their pictures next to each other, and you would think that they're brother and sister, or you would think that that one of them is in drag or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
for that.
When you say that, I think, I think that's not the greatest compliment for her. But I would think knowing, I don't know Christopher Walken, but knowing what I think I know about him on the various things we've seen, he'd probably like to be, you know, he'd be like, well, thank you.
Yeah,
you know?
probably. But anything else we want to say about Rebirth here?
I don't think
great
so.
cast. Oh, I want to just say one thing. I liked seeing this young actress in this. We used to be fans of the TV show Manifest, and the girl who plays the daughter of the family that's on the boat, her name is, I think, Luna Blaze, or Blaze, that's Blaise, so I might be saying her name incorrectly, but I was watching her the whole movie thinking, where do I know her from? So if you're doing the same thing and you were a fan of Manifest, you can be like, hey, yeah, she was on Manifest. She was Olive.
Olive,
who was an interesting character.
Yeah, because didn't I walk away from that also thinking she looked very similar? Oh, she reminded me also of the one daughter on Shrinking.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Totally see that. All right, so that was the first movie we saw, and Lisa already alluded to the other one, and we saw it, I think, 2-3 days later, and that is Superman. Yes. I just discovered the other day, this is actually the first movie to be called just Superman. There was the 1978 movie with Christopher Reeve that people call Superman. It was actually Superman the movie.
Oh.
So, but most people just call it Superman. But anyway, this is the first one to actually be titled just simply Superman.
Wow.
But I had high expectations for this one, very high expectations, because I think I've seen all but one of the Superman movies since that 1978 movie with Christopher Reeve in the theaters. I think the only one I didn't see was Superman 3. But so I wanted to see this in the theater, and oh boy, were my expectations high. I was not a big fan of the Man of Steel movie from about 10 years or so ago. I was excited about this because I heard it was more going to be along the lines of the Christopher Reeve movies, where maybe a little lighter in tone than the last one, which was a little darker.
Who played Superman in Man of Steel?
Man of Steel, it was Henry Cavill.
So
Cavill.
it was him.
I always worry about how I say his name.
Cavill, I think. Yeah,
he was in that, and I thought he was fine. He was very good as Superman, very good when he did Clark Kent as well. And then he was in the, that was the only Superman movie that he was in, but he was also in the Justice League movies as that character.
Okay, so this is a funny thing. The Man of Steel, was there a part of that movie at some point where there's little men of steel like shooting up into the air or something like that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, but prior to this guy, I had a roommate, and I remember him watching a Superman movie, and I was busy and not really like in it, and he kept cackling at this one scene because apparently the way that these little steel men, I can't remember what it is, they looked like a part of the male genitalia shooting up into the sky, and I was like, oh well, it's called Man of Steel, and I was pretty sure it was that one.
I think you're right. I have only seen that once, and it had some decent moments, but overall I was disappointed for reasons I won't get into here. But anyway, expectations were high for this one. And boy, oh boy, I was not disappointed.
I loved it.
I
wasn't even sure I was going to go see it with him. I will say it right this time. I have always viewed Superman as Christopher Reeve, not plural. Not with an S at the end.
This was a little conversation before we started hitting record.
He becomes so snitty.
I don't.
He has, look how he just said it. He has such a little snitty tone because he's the walking Wikipedia pop culture boy, and I am horrible.
Well,
it's all I can do to remember my own name. So
I'll tell you, this is such a common thing though with Christopher Reeve. I have seen it, since he became Superman back in the late 70s, where people want to put the S on there. And I think part of that is, I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was a television show in the 1950s called The Adventures of Superman, and that starred George Reeves.
Oh.
And then to have the next actor who played Superman have such a similar last name,
Yeah.
But anyway, but like you said, I think for most people, he will always be the definitive big screen Superman.
Yeah, he was just what I knew for Superman, and I liked the first one. I'm not a big superhero. Most of these movies drive me crazy because you'll get into one, but it's like a spin-off or a side world of like 57 different other things that you have to watch, and I'm like, okay, I just don't have enough time to keep up with all of that, and I get confused, and I can't, again, because I've got to remember all these character names, and then they keep changing who's playing them, but anyways.
Yeah, and then you had the same kind of, that was starting to happen with the other one, because you had Man of Steel, but then it was going into the Justice, then there was Superman versus Batman, Dawn of Justice, and then you had to have, seen the Superman movie to really get that, and then you have to watch all these different things. Marvel's far worse than DC, I think, with that, because you have to not only watch the superhero movies, you have to watch the shows that they have too, and they're all.
I can't even remember which one's Marvel and which one's DC.
It gets hard to keep up with it all.
I hear DC and I think, well, that's where I'm from.
That's right. She was born in DC.
But anyway, so I wasn't even sure. Originally, I had bought a ticket for him to go see it on. What was it, Xfinity? No, it was Amazon Prime was offering for Prime members, which that's like 98% of the American population, to go see it early in the theaters. So I was like, oh, this will be fun for him.
5 days before it was released to the
But the
general public.
only seat available was like 3 rows from the screen, and it was an IMAX, and I'm like, oh,
we saw one of the Star Wars movies that close up, and it's
and I have
too
vertigo,
much.
so I'm like peeking out, trying to look at things.
So we let that go and actually got a refund. I figured we'd just see the movie together.
And I'm really, really glad I did, because this, when I walked out of this movie, I said, oh my goodness, did we just go see 2 movies this weekend that have now become my favorite of each of the franchises?
Yeah.
And I really, truly felt like maybe because I wasn't expecting to feel any sort of way about it. I just kind of wanted to be here for this guy and go see it. And, he watches stuff I want to watch all the time. So, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I have to say, I love the woman who played Lois Lane. I think she did a great job.
Yeah.
That she's the actress Rachel
Brosnahan.
Who I know her as the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah. We watched. We didn't watch all of it, but we watched most of that series, and she was fantastic in that. Really fantastic.
Lex Luthor.
Oh my God! The actor who plays Lex Luthor is Nicholas Hoult, and I really, to me, he's one of the best Lex Luthors ever.
Oh absolutely.
I love the late Gene Hackman was fantastic in Superman's 1, 2, and 4 as Lex Luthor. But that was a very comical approach. This one was where he wasn't even. Well, I don't want to say too. Well, they're over 40 years old. I can say he wasn't even bald most of the time. He was wearing it was his own hair, but I guess they made it a toupee where you did see him bald once or twice in him. But it was a much more comical version of the character. This one was he might have had some funny moments in it, but he was pretty ruthless.
Dark.
He was dark.
Yeah, he was dark.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite Luthors. We know him from
Great.
Yeah, The Great. Yeah,
The Great.
Was on Hulu.
About Catherine the Great, and he is. Oh boy, what did they even joke about it in the opening for the show that it's like barely historically accurate.
Oh yeah, barely historically accurate.
It's pretty. They've kind of embellished that story.
He was
but one of the things that I will never forget for him, because he's just so funny, is he says touche.
Instead of touche.
And then he has to learn from Catherine, it's touche and not touche. so to your credit, he probably would not have said toupee. He would have said toupe.
Yeah, he probably would have. And I found out recently that he's been around since he was a kid. He was in About a Boy with Hugh Grant, which I love.
Oh, wow.
We should watch that sometime. I don't think you've seen that, but it's a great movie. And the actor who plays Superman is David Corenswet, who I thought I had not seen in anything before, but he apparently was in Twisters from last year. I don't know what his role was.
Oh.
You know what I wonder though? And I could be wrong. I wonder if he was the boyfriend of the woman who was the star and he got killed like in the first beginning of
or is that where he got his powers? See,
well,
we're going to start bringing
combine them.
Combine them, and so he went up in the little twister.
Twist him with soups.
But we're sitting here talking about the characters. We haven't even really covered the premise of.
Yeah, go for it.
Unless
we go for it together.
Yeah, is
Superman is a superhero from the planet Krypton. I think most of you probably know enough about Superman.
The biggest thing is it opens up with him kind of in trouble a little bit. There's like committees that are overseeing him. The government isn't very happy with him because he stepped in and stopped a conflict.
Yeah. In another country.
And they kind of felt like he overstepped his, bounds, which is, we were talking before the show that I asked, Buddy, I said, has that ever really happened where you've had a situation where the limits of what a superhero could do? Because to me, that was new. Every superhero thing I've seen, they're supposed to just go do whatever and be the great person who saves the day, and there's no question.
Yeah, and I think it's been limited. There are some superhero movies and TV shows, and even in comic books, where the government will get involved and say, "Oh, they've got too much power," you know. But as far as the Superman movies in the past go, most of the time it was pretty much free reign. Everyone just took Superman as being the great hero of not only the United States but of the whole world, and it'd be like, okay, he's there for us. We're going to let him help us. There was something in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, that dealt with nuclear weapons, where it's been so long since I've seen this movie. I saw it, I think it's from 1987. I saw it in the theaters when it was brand new. I haven't seen it since then. I liked it well enough, but it was my least favorite of all the Superman movies. But anyway, it had something to do with nuclear weapons, where Superman stepped in and he was actually getting rid of a lot of the nuclear weapons. I think he flew them himself up to outer space and just got rid of them. And there were some issues with that because governments think had a problem because they spent a fortune on them. Plus, they like to have them for their own protection. And if one person has them and another doesn't,
you're now open.
You're now
sitting
considered weak. And
a sitting egg. I'm horrible with phrases. Sitting duck.
So I think I think that was the most similar situation between the Superman movies, where Superman's actions were questioned by the powers that be. And in this, that's the case too, because while it seems like he's trying to do the right thing, he sees people in peril, so he wants to help them.
Right.
But then I think even Lois Lane might have called him out on that, saying, should you have really done that?
I was about to do something really stupid. I was about to say, well, she's a journalist. Because isn't that what she is in every single...
she's a reporter for the Daily Planet.
So...
Because one thing I like about this one, too, is that with so many superhero movies, so many get redone. Like you've even seen Spider-Man get redone multiple times. They go back every 10 years and tell the origin story again. They didn't do that here, which I thought was good. I think there's been enough Superman movies and Superman TV series. We didn't need to go back and see the whole thing with him coming as a baby from the planet Krypton.
Well, now, what's interesting about that?
There is stuff related to that.
Is they do have, a small little cameo of his mom and his dad, the iconic recording that he's listened to with their message that they've sent him to.
They've sent him to Earth because their planet was about to explode, and it's interesting.
It's interesting because it basically he learns something else about that message.
Yeah.
The message is extended. We'll just say that. I don't think, not saying what the message extends into, but it basically takes the fundamental basis of what he understands about himself,
and why
his supposed mission,
Yeah.
and where he comes from is totally flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And that was really, really
it was
pivotal.
really, I think it was really a good thing story-wise, something a little different. And I really
I had mentioned one of the things that I thought he was a great Superman.
Oh, yeah,
I actually really liked him as Superman.
Me too.
And he, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's maybe he just had a more youthful appearance or he looked similar to the other actor, but he reminded me, I don't know, I got him and the actors that were playing his parents in this were a little bit more twangy and country.
Yeah.
I got total Smallville vibes of this. Like he reminded me of I have already forgotten the actor's name that you told me played Superman in Smallville.
In Smallville it was, you can check it out. But anyway, Smallville was a great series. I missed out on like the last season or so of that, but that was really good. It depicted him before he became Superman.
Tom Welling,
yes. And I could see what you're saying, and yes, while even in the comic books and some of the other movies, you knew he was from this town that I think sometimes has been said is to be in Kansas, but they don't always label it as Kansas. But I really... This is the movie where I think you really saw that these were just regular folks.
Oh, and there were some really sweet scenes.
There were some really sweet
scenes in that.
Yeah.
Now, so one of the other things I absolutely loved about this was Crypto. Crypto is a dog, so he has a dog with him, and Crypto's right in there from the beginning because we see him, getting like kind of calling for him to come.
Yeah, which I don't think is any big spoiler because that was in the first trailer that they released for this movie, where you saw him like Superman in this Arctic area. He's obviously been hurt in some way, laying in the snow, and he whistles, and you see like all of a sudden you see all this snow like flying, and ice flying, and it's because this super dog is like jumping on the stuff, and
just so I didn't forget who Crypto was, I wrote woof next to it. So,
yes, it's the dog.
Yes,
it's no kind of like trading currency kind of thing or anything like that. That's what they see.
Oh God, that would be funny. Crypto.
Boy, yeah. But you know what? I don't want to give too much away about this, but there are some other super characters in it, superheroes. And Nathan Fillion, who is most known for being on TV, from being in Firefly. He's currently in The Rookie. He was on Castle. He plays Green Lantern, and if you follow Green Lantern at all, you know there's been multiple Green Lanterns, but he plays one of the Green Lanterns, and there's also two others. Who were on this super team with him, Hawk Girl, and was it Mr. Fantastic? Is that his name?
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think they call themselves the Justice Gang.
Yeah.
At least that's what the Green Lantern wants to call them. I don't think the others are crazy about that.
And then they get Metamorpho.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the Metamorpho ends up joining them, and he's a great character too, played by Anthony Carrigan, who I liked Anthony Carrigan in I forget the character he played, but he was in the last Bill and Ted movie. Oh. I know you didn't see that, but Bill and Ted Face the Music, and it's so very good. He's really good in this, and but yeah, the Justice Gang, they pop up a couple times in this movie, and they have an interesting relationship with Superman.
Now, there's another interesting cameo.
Oh, yeah. There's multiple scenes where you'll see different TV reporters, reporting on the events that are going on in the movie. And one of them is played by a real-life reporter for ABC News named William Reeve, and he is the late Christopher Reeve's son.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat that he has a cameo in this movie. I actually saw a clip of an interview he did with David Cornsweet, who plays Superman.
Oh, wow.
And where he says, is it odd to you at all to be, doing this interview with me, the son of the actor, who was, of the first movie Superman? And he said it was a little surreal at first, but apparently his family, I think, the late Christopher Reeve's family, including his son William, pretty much gave David Cornsweet their blessing early on, saying, "We think
that's awesome.
we really think you'd be great to take over this role."
Yeah, I think he did awesome.
I thought he did awesome too.
And there, if you want a good laugh, is a little piece of trivia. Nicholas Hoult actually auditioned, to become to play Superman.
Yeah.
And so how funny it is. And there are several hilarious videos out there where he talks about it, and then he meets this guy and he's like, oh, okay, well,
he meets David Cornsweet, who I think is a little
taller, a little bit more built, and so he kind of gets it. But but I thought both of them in their role, I just thought that those three, Superman, Lois Lane, and Lex Luthor, fantastic portrayal of all of them. I really enjoyed it. Now, one thing that we talked about, he kind of gets in trouble or is questioned with all of that. And one of the things that I have seen some of the negative reviews. There are some people who don't like that some of the portrayals of some of the conflicts that are happening in the movie mimic, in a very fictionalized sense, some things that have happened fairly recently in the real world, and that in many ways are still kind of going on, and they haven't there's been a lot of, anybody watching this is going to know the world is a little tense right now, and I feel like it kind of deepened that intensity and all of that, and it made us kind of pivot and question to think of so many other things that have had, obviously we're inspired, writers and creators, artists are always inspired by what's going on. And sometimes you wonder, well, how soon is too soon to talk about it? I mean, I was telling him, I have some books I haven't read yet, but I finally feel like I'm getting to the point where I want to read them that were written and released while we were still in the pandemic. And they're in situations where characters are living in the pandemic. And at the time, I was like, this looks like a great story. But I really am literally stuck in my house and can't do anything. And we're all questioning what's going to happen to us. So I'm not ready to read a book about that. And so it just, it makes you wonder. But on the flip side of that, I think it would be good for all of us, regardless of who you are, where you are, anything, to sometimes just to realize that a story is just what it is. It's a story. It's
a story, and I can hear it. Like we said, there are events that they very likely were inspired by some of the things really going on in the world.
It's true.
And I think that's the case for any creators, whether it's movies or books or whatever. You're going to be influenced by the things that you see on a daily basis. However, none of the things in the movie were actually labeled as like, any real world people or any real world even particular countries that are going on. So it's fictional. But there's it's a tough. I don't envy all of them because it is a fine line to walk.
It's hard, and I think sometimes it's interesting because we all, and I'm sure people who study history laugh at this, because they probably draw parallels on things that none of us are even cognizant of, because, you know, everything that's ever been created is based on something, you know, or even just a universal theme, or you know, whatever that might have been affecting, you know, some group of people during a specific time period. And there's always parallels to real life to be seen, because, you know, that's what is the initial inspiration for everyone. And that, you know, entertainment should be the one thing I would, if I could wave a magic wand over the whole world, is I would say we all don't have to like all of the things that are made, because I certainly don't like all the movies or all the music that's made. But one of the great things about art in all of its forms is that it's made to bring people together.
Yes,
you know, to have discussions like we're having here. And sometimes it makes me sad that it is now becoming something that sometimes is used to only just separate us even further. And so I would ask everyone in the whole world to do whatever you can to you know, engage in things that bring us together.
Yes, exactly.
And have us share common experiences and viewpoints and all that.
Agree.
Because, I mean, honestly, whoever watches this, you'd have to love crypto, for example.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I think crypto is a big fan favorite. Crypto is so great. As far as I know, this is the first version of crypto ever on screen. I don't think crypto was ever in any of the movies. But I don't know if crypto was ever in any of the TV shows. I don't think so, though. But yeah, crypto is very, very entertaining. A lot of fun. And like we said, David Corenswet's great. I know Rachel Brosnahan's great as Lois Lane. Oh, shout out to young actor Skylar.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if it's Gisondo or Gisondo, but he plays Jimmy Olsen, who is a longtime character in the Superman universe from the comic books, going back to probably the 1940s or 50s. Where in some of them he's a photographer, and others he's a reporter. But he's this young. I think he's a reporter in this one. He works at the Daily Planet with them, and he's actually a little bit more mature in this in some ways. Where he's even got like this one female character who is very much in pursuit of him, and he does a great job in this. I know him. Well, he's gone back a ways, but he actually I saw him as a small child years ago on the TV show Psych. He had a recurring role in there where he was the childhood version of the main character, Sean. You would see flashbacks for Sean, where you would see him and his buddy Gus as children.
Oh, wow.
And they had a couple different actors play him to cover him at like different stages of his childhood, but he was one of them. And then we knew him from the Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes.
He played a really good character on there.
I loved that show.
That was a great show that was far too short-lived. And so yeah, he's great in this. Trying to think who else we might have met. There's just the whole cast is great.
And one little thing that was, we get a sneak peek at the new Supergirl.
Yes, that's right.
At the very end of
Okay, you heard that?
I think this happened on one of the other things.
I don't know if you could clearly hear that, but what Alexa was just saying is, this is a reminder: take that little buddy pill, because Alexa, stop. Okay, that was going to be.
We obviously have, memory issues.
Yes, I take some medication, and the one I'm supposed to take in the evenings, and that's a reminder so I don't forget.
Yes.
So voila, there's a part of my life.
We use A.
We don't actually say.
Can't say Alexa.
Can't say Alexa
because she'll be like nosing in and talking and asking things.
We can't say Siri because
of
our phones.
S.
So we're always saying A or S.
A and S.
Yeah, so we can have some peace and not always be responded to.
Yeah.
And now our TV's doing it.
Oh,
we have Roku, and you can talk to Roku. And,
and so it comes on, and then, sometimes it'll be in the middle of a show, and I'm like, hey. Yeah,
we were watching a game show last night, and something in the game show sounded like Roku, and it responded saying, "I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you with that."
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I love modern technology, but it's a little creepy sometimes. Yeah. No offense, technology.
But
oh yeah, this was so much fun. I would definitely watch this again. I'm sure I'll watch it multiple times. That we will watch it multiple times.
I really enjoyed it quite a bit.
It's really, really good. If you. Yeah, and
a lot of action.
Yeah, it's my favorite Superman movie since I liked Superman Returns from, I think it was 2005, which was Brandon Routh playing Superman. That was pretty much an unofficial sequel to Superman 2, where it was the Christopher Reeve. where it was supposed to pick up pieces from that. But that was like lighter in tone. This has got some dark stuff in it. It's still lighter in tone than say Man of Steel was. I've heard some people say this feels like I'm watching a comic book on screen, and to me that's what I want in superhero movies. I want something that. It is exciting, that has fun moments. I'm not saying it has to be rip-roaring hilarious, but just to have fun, lighthearted moments in it. And there's plenty of that here, provided by all the characters, really. Thoroughly
I
loved
thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought I had a lot of fun with it. So I enjoyed both of the movies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And we really got lucky there because, you know, going to the movie theater isn't always a fantastic
Well, now, we
experience.
didn't get lucky at first. Remember, we went into the theater and we had for Jurassic Park, and I mean, here it is. We hadn't been to the movies in quite some time. We go in and we go to our seat, and we
reserved the seats weeks ahead of time.
Big trash can in front of his seat. And because I look up and there's a gigantic hole
in the ceiling,
and there's water coming out of it. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't move it because if he reclines in there, he's going to have wet feet.
The theater was like probably 80% empty.
Yeah.
But this happened to be happening in front of our seats.
One seat. So I was like, well, this isn't going to work. So they apparently had
they forecast
for that. They were prepared. We went to the ticket guy, and he said, oh, you're going to be the ones that they warned me about. We're going to come and complain about your seat. And so they gave us pretty much the same seats, one row back.
It actually worked out better.
Yeah, it actually worked out
Yeah, we were
good.
in touch with the universe.
Now, maybe it could have been that the people who saw that movie before us, a dinosaur might have tried to come in.
Maybe.
And that is why there's a hole in the ceiling there.
It could have been.
Yeah.
So those are our thoughts on Jurassic World. Was it Rebirth?
Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth and the new Superman movie. And I think there's nothing else on our movie horizon right
We don't
now.
watch a lot of movies, and some of that is my fault because I have to be. It's funny. I when I'm in the mood for a movie, God, sometimes we'll sit down and watch a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
But anymore, as I've gotten older, for whatever reason, I have a hard time, and it makes no sense sitting down and committing to like some of these movies are like 3 hours long. Now I say this, and I am totally the person who will then spend a day watching 11 episodes of something, so it doesn't really make any sense.
But it's different than when you're at home and you can pause something and you know.
But I mean, even here we don't watch that many movies.
No, it's true. It's true.
So what is going to be upcoming on our show here? We're probably going to be talking. I think the next thing that we're going to record is going to be about some shows that we've watched.
We have been binge watching some shows.
Yeah, four seasons.
Yeah.
And The Residence.
But which are both on Netflix, which we had gotten rid of months ago. We got it back 2 weeks ago, and now we've binge watched the first 2 seasons already of these 2 series. And so we're excited to share our thoughts on them. We got lucky. My gosh, we watched them both really quickly, especially The Residence.
Yeah.
Which has already been canceled.
I know.
But, you know.
I'm hoping, but my God, before you even see us talk about it, please go watch it.
Go watch
and then,
it's really good.
Because honestly, what is her name? Cassandra Cup?
Cordelia.
Cordelia Cup.
Cordelia
Cup is the main detective in The Residence, and she is maybe one of my all-time favorite detectives ever. I just love her so much, and she's such an amazing actress.
She's such an original.
Oh my God!
Character.
Also, Google her singing opera.
Yes,
because she is just like
is really,
so ridiculously talented.
That was so good, and the 4 seasons you
fantastic.
You probably heard about that because it has an all-star cast. So
Steve Carell, Tina
Fey, some other big names, and it's based on a movie from the 1980s that was directed and written by Alan Alda, who was, of course, been around forever, and they did a really good job of remaking that. It's not a total remake. It's sort of a just a reimagining of it, of the basic plot of it, with this group of friends who pretty much takes vacations each season of the year. So you cover 4 seasons, and we absolutely loved it.
Yeah, really loved it.
My guard was a little up going into that, probably because I love the original movie, and I'm like, are they going to mess it up? So, but it's really good. But we'll tell you more about that next time around.
Well, I was going to say, and one of the other shows that we're probably going to do too is we're actually going to, we're both in the middle of wrapping up audiobooks that we're both listening to.
Yeah, we're both listening to.
I am currently listening to The River is Waiting by Willie Lamb. And you are listening to The Whisper Man by Alex North. And then we've also read some other things. So we're going to, we are probably going to do the next one about some shows, but then we will pivot back to books. And then we already have some ideas for some more writing episodes. With all that said, if you're watching this and you actually have a show or movie or book or something about writing, or maybe a snack recommendation.
Well,
feel
tell us
free.
some things that you're enjoying.
Yeah, drop a line either wherever you're watching this, or shoot us an email. What's our email again? It's buddyandlisa.got at gmail.com. Yeah.
And speaking of that, depending on, you could be watching or listening to this in any number of places. This show is on Substack, it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, what's the other one? Pocket Casts.
Yes.
But I was going to say, if you want to make sure you don't miss an episode, I recommend subscribing to our newsletter on Substack, which a lot of people will charge a fee for their Substack newsletters. Ours is always going to be free. So basically, if you just go to Substack, look for Buddy and Lisa Gott, you can find this show, the Buddy and Lisa show, on there. Just sign up for the newsletter. That way, every time we do a new episode, actually, they just shoot you the video in the email.
Yeah,
you can watch it right in the email.
You can watch it in the email, and you don't have to pay if you're not familiar with Substack. You don't have to pay to be on Substack either. It's a free account that you.
It's a free account. Yeah.
And we're not going to be. Inundating you with newsletters and all that. It's just going to be basically our show, and if you're on there, we might occasionally write a little post.
Yeah, we do little posts within Substack itself,
but
you're not going to be getting those overloaded.
Your email is not
box.
going to be blown up.
Yeah, your email is pretty much going to be just the episodes of our show. Yeah. So if you like our show, well, first of all, that makes us very happy.
Yeah.
And you want to follow us, please consider doing that.
And I am on Blue Sky, Instagram, Substack, Threads, all Lisa M. Gott writes. And then my website's lisamgott.com.
Yeah, my website is buddygotwrites.com. I'm about to do some major updates there. But I can be found on Blue Sky. That's where I do most of my posts about music, pop culture, just life. Instagram, Threads, not on them quite as much, but I can be found on all those places. And well, that's about all I have to say.
Yeah.
And we thank you so much for
joining
us today. And want to do a little toast with our gnomes again.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, wherever you are, I hope life is treating you good.
Yes.
And try to have as much fun and happiness as you can.
Yes.
It's not always easy, but there's ways to find it.
As I have recently discovered, if you need to, just scurry under a rock and hide, and it's fun. It's fun to create your own little internal mental fort, and
exactly.
And remind yourself that life is all about trying to make the most out of every second.
That's wonderful advice. Yeah. That's great.
All right.
Okay, folks. Well, there's my little remote to turn this off. Anyway, thank you again, and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.